Hey guys, welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to show you how I created this vibrant hummingbird using Faber-Castell Polychromos coloured pencils. One of the biggest challenges with hummingbirds is capturing all of those beautiful iridescent feathers without feeling overwhelmed. So I'll show you the approach I use to break down everything into smaller, manageable sections. This method will make the whole process much easier. I always like to begin with the eye. Getting the eye finished first gives me a solid focal point and helps me bring the bird to life right from the beginning. Once that's in place, I move on to the beak before gradually working my way around the face. Rather than trying to tackle the entire bird at once, I complete little sections at a time. Not only does this make the drawing feel less intimidating, but it also helps prevent frustration because you're only focusing on one small area before moving on to the next. We're going to start with these beautiful pink and purple feathers at the base of the beak. When working with coloured pencils, I generally like to build from the lightest colours to the darkest. So I'm starting with a light magenta to establish those bright pink tones. Then I'm layering coral to introduce a slightly warmer pink tone before gradually building in the purple violet. As I'm adding these darker colours, I'm being really careful to work around the brightest pink highlights. I want to keep those centres nice and vibrant because those lighter areas are what creates the illusion of light reflecting off the feathers. Once those colours are established, I can begin adding the dark sepia into the deepest shadows. I don't use very much at this stage, just enough to create some contrast while keeping those bright highlights intact. Next, I'm moving up to the top of the head where we have those lovely yellow feathers. For these, I'm starting with green gold, gently mapping out the feather shapes. These feathers are slightly softer and a little out of focus in the reference, so I'm keeping my pencil pressure nice and light. Once those lighter colours are in place, I can begin introducing burnt sienna and walnut brown to create some depth and separate the individual feathers. Now we come to probably the trickiest part of the entire drawing, the colourful feathers across the top of the head. These are so many different colours working together here. Pink, orange, yellow and purple. The easiest way to approach this is to ignore the overall picture and simply focus on one feather at a time. I'm first outlining the feather group with coral. This helps me establish where each feather sits. Then I begin glazing green gold into the yellow sections before gradually layering the remaining colours exactly where I see them in the reference. This is definitely one of those areas where taking your time really pays off. To increase the contrast between the feathers, I'm using red violet along with small touches of dark sepia. These darker colours are applied very sparingly because it's much easier to add more layer than it is to remove colour once it's on the paper. Throughout this whole drawing, I'm working with lots of thin layers rather than trying to achieve full colour straight away. As we move under the eye, the feathers become much cooler in colour. Here I'm using Cold Grey 3 to map out all of those shadow shapes before glazing over them with soft yellows, pinks and purples. Even though these feathers appear white or grey, they're still reflecting the colours around them. Adding those subtle hints of colour is what makes the bird feel much more realistic instead of flat or dull. Again, I'm using really light pressure and slowly building the colour over multiple layers. Once I'm happy with the lighter colours, I can begin strengthening the shadows with more cold grey, dark sepia and, in just the very darkest areas, a touch of black. Using black sparingly helps create depth without making the feathers look harsh. Around the back of the head, there's another section of grey feathers. I'm building up these with the cold greys before gradually introducing dark sepia into the deepest shadows. Throughout this area, I'm always following the direction of the feathers with my pencil strokes because it helps reinforce the texture. There's also a small cluster of purple feathers here, so I'm making sure my pencil is nice and sharp to keep those edges crisp and well defined. Now we're moving on to one of my favourite sections of the bird, where all the colours become really vibrant. After mapping out all of these feather shapes with green gold, I'm layering some cadmium yellow to brighten everything even further. Then I continue building up green gold before introducing light magenta anywhere those warmer pink tones appear. To separate each feather, I'm using red violet together with burnt sienna in the shadow areas. One thing that's really important here is to pay attention to your light source. On the bird, the light is coming from the far right-hand side, so the right-hand side of each feather stays a little lighter while the left-hand side gradually falls into shadow. Keeping that consistent throughout the drawing gives the feathers much more dimension and helps everything look softer rather than outlined. The final cluster of feathers is dominated by beautiful pinks and purples. I'm starting with violet to sketch out each individual feather before glazing light magenta across the brighter areas. Then I'm gradually deepening the shadows with red violet and dark sepia. If it doesn't look quite dark enough yet, don't worry. I often leave these final adjustments until the rest of the drawing is complete because it's much easier to judge your values once everything else is finished. If you'd like to follow along with this tutorial at a slower pace, remember the entire drawing is available as a real-time tutorial over on my Patreon. You'll get the full reference photo, line art, material list, and everything you need to complete this project yourself. There are also around 90 additional tutorials covering wildlife, birds, food, illustrations, and plenty of other colour pencil subjects. Moving down to the body of the hummingbird, the process stays very similar. I'm first mapping out all of the darker feather groups with cold greys before glazing over them with subtle yellows, pinks, blues, and purples wherever I can see those reflective colours. Although these feathers appear mostly white, they still pick up a surprising amount of colour from the surrounding environment, so adding those subtle glazes really helps create a more lifelike result. When completing white feathers like this, it does take a lot of layers, so don't think that going through with your base layers, adding the colours and the tones in there, and then going over with the darker colours that you're going to be done. You need to repeat these processes several times to build up the fluffiness of the texture and make it look really thick and fluffy. Finally, I'm moving on to the branch. Rather than leaving it as a plain brown branch, I'm glazing in some of the same colours that I've used throughout the bird. Adding those repeated colours helps tie the whole artwork together and creates a much more cohesive final piece. Once everything is complete, I like to step back and look at the drawing as a whole. This is the stage where I like to make final adjustments to the contrast, strengthening and darker shadows where needed while keeping those bright highlights intact. One final tip is to avoid outlining every feather with solid black lines. Instead, concentrate your darkest values in the shadow side of each feather while allowing the lighter side to blend softly to the next one. That subtle transition is what gives feathers their soft, realistic appearance. I really hope that you like this video and that you've picked up some new tips that you can use in your own colour pencil drawings. If you did enjoy the video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and let me know down in the comments what you would like to see me draw next. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks, guys.